The sun is out, it is finally getting warmer, and we will actually be working on the garden pretty soon as we plan to build a stunning vegetable garden right here. But until then, I would like to invite all of the pretty birdies to please move to another part of our property and not eat all of my strawberries before I can. Thank you very much. So I decided to remove the old birdhouses from this wall and build a beautiful new home that will go on the other side of the house. Now, to make sure that I have all of the wood that I need to go into the shed. Remember the shed? The one that you can barely enter? Oh. So I thought I found a piece, but now that I'm looking at it, it's broken. Oh, well, now it's broken. It's cracked all the way down. Now I could either go for thicker wood because I have a lot of this stuff, this thickness, but it's very chunky. I don't think that would look very good. Or I have to go to the hardware store and get wood. I really wished I could do this from scrap wood though, but this is not gonna work. This is firewood. Let's rethink the plan. This is me thinking, by the way, not procrastinating or anything. And then I came up with a brilliant solution. Get new wood. All good. All good. That was dumb. That was really dumb. To get started, I cut 2 pieces of this board that were 40 centimeters high for the bigger house. I made the smaller house 25 centimeters high, and to create the top, I set my miter saw to 45 degrees, marked the center of the top of the piece, and then cut one side of the top, turned the wood upside down, and then did the same for the other side. I did this twice for the bigger house and then once for the smaller one before measuring how high the sides then needed to be. I even made a little cut list here, and then I still did it wrong because, let's face it, I am me. I actually cut 2 of the smaller fronts, but then I could very easily fix it by cutting off the pointy end and use it as a side instead, so it was all good. So when building a birdhouse, there are a couple of things to consider because different birds are attracted to different kinds of birdhouses. So the size of the hole matters a lot. So does the height from the ground and whether or not other birdhouses are close by. If I'm not mistaken, sparrows are pretty much the only birds that don't mind having neighbors. Other birds tend to really want a house for themselves, kind of like myself. But because I wanted to make a house with multiple openings, I also made sure to make the hole the right size for sparrows. So it is 35 millimeters wide. For the color of the birdhouse, it is best not to go for something too colorful, as it should blend in with nature a little bit. I am a rebel though, so I did paint them a bit of a color. But I did make sure to keep the colors muted and even diluted it with water to make sure that you could still see the wood grain through the paint colors. I went for a green for the smaller house and a brownish red for the bigger one. I didn't add the roof pieces yet, and I didn't attach the pieces together as well because this of course made the painting process a lot easier.
Take a train ride just to see you. Ride for hours just to please you. You don't know how much I need you. 'Cause you're my home away from home, away from home, away from being alone. Run away from home, why don't you? 'Cause I did the same just for you.
I'm using my nail gun to secure the roof pieces, but I wanted to make absolutely sure that there are no sharp nails sticking out on the inside of the house, so I marked exactly where the nails had to go in so that they would go into the wood underneath. Then I did the exact same thing for the smaller house, and then the house itself is done. So I am calling it a day, and then tomorrow I'll start making it all pretty.
For the train ride home, I hope to make you my own.
Good morning, guys. It is cold outside. It was supposed to be warmer than yesterday. There's a really cold wind, so it's not. So I'm just mustering up the courage to go outside. But I thought I would let you know what I was working on. I am trying to decide what to do with the platform. So the entire house is going to be on top of a post that's going to go into the ground, and it has to have like a platform to sit on. So I was trying to decide if I want to make it square or if I want it to have some curved edges or something, make it a little bit more organic shaped. As I am saying this and looking at it through the window, I realized that if I make it square, I could give it like a cute little scalloped edge using my laser machine. I could like cut out a nice little border for it. That would be really nice. So I think that's what we're gonna do. Just gonna make it square. So I'm just gonna have to draw the size, make sure it's the right size, and then cut it out. And then we can move on to adding all of the nice little details. I have already made a couple of things like little doors and windows that are ready to be cut out on the laser machine. But we'll get to that later. Let's do the platform first. So I was thinking to create a little bit of a porch situation on this side so that we can put some bird feed stuff in here, like little seeds and things to lure them to the house. So I think I'm going to make it square and then have a little bit of a border on this side, like around the house. So there's just a little bit of space on the side here and on the back here, and then make it a little wider on this side and on the side, because that will also allow me to create a little staircase here for the door. That's gonna be a really small door though. We'll see. Let it go up to about here-ish, and then go around like here. As per usual, I can't find a measuring tape, so I'm using the one that I use for knitting and sewing and things. Let's make it a nice round number, make it 40. If you guys were wondering, by the way, I had that orange tape on my hand yesterday, actually for a couple of days, because remember that beautiful pattern wall that we did in the upstairs hallway? That was in January, and my hand still hurts. So I went to physical therapy, and they taped up my hand, hoping that would work. And I understand how it would, it's just that it is so annoying. I do a lot with my hands all day long, and I know that I need to rest a little bit, which is fine. That tape gets so gross, and I work a lot with food, and I don't like it. So I took off the tape. It's gonna be replaced with a brace later today. So, how's that? I hope the wind is not messing with the audio too much. I have just found another piece of wood that is already the right width, which makes my job a lot easier because then I can just use my miter saw to cut the right length. Why is it so heavy? That'll do. Now I want to be able to very easily take this apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line around the house on the platform so that I know exactly where it sits. And then I will drill some small holes so that I can later, when everything is done, screw some screws in from the bottom up. That way the house will be very secure to the platform, but I will be able to just unscrew it at the end of the season, take it apart, clean everything out, put it back together, put it back on its post. He really does seem a little bit sad about Ari's. If you missed the last video, we had to put down our other dog. He was really sick, but he was definitely the leader of the two. So whenever Ari's would get up, he would get up. And whenever Ari's would bark, he would start barking. And he would not go outside without Ari's. And now he's just a little lost. And he definitely doesn't want to go outside. So whenever I open the door for him, he just looks back to wait for Ari's to come. And he's not going. You're gonna have to pee at some point, you know. You'll be okay. As I said earlier, I had already made a couple of little things on the computer, but I still needed a door for the smaller house, so I made a very simple door in Photoshop. I also made some windows and some decor for around the entrance, and then I just had to send it to the laser machine and cut them out. Now that takes a while though, so in the meantime, I stained the steps and put them back in. I nailed these to the bottom platform, and that will also ensure that when I take off the house to clean it, it will be very easy to put it back in exactly the same position, as they will just be sitting up against these steps. Then as these little round pieces were done cutting, I painted them white so that I could attach them to the house, which Stephen filmed for me, being serious as always.
Good.
I knew I couldn't leave that to you. I'm having a little trouble with the doors. My original plan was to do a door for the big house right here and a door on the smaller one. And so I made a door for the big house, which is this one, which would sit right here. That is fine, that looks good. But that door obviously is way too big for the small house. It would go right in front of the hole. Instead, I made a smaller door for the small house, which is this one, which is fine. It's just that it's so much smaller than the other door that it makes absolutely no sense. So I decided to make a smaller door for the big house, just to make everything a little bit more equal, right? So I made a smaller version, which is a little bit bigger than this one, but not too much. But then that one looks absolutely ridiculous on the really big house. Like, what am I gonna do with all of this blank space? I don't like that idea. So I just changed my mind. I'm gonna change the plan. I'm gonna take these doors off. We're gonna go with the original big door for the big house. I'm gonna build a door frame for it as well. And then here, I will make a little porch thingy, a little roof that we can put tiny little logs under. So I cut a few from a stick that I just found outside. I think I should use different wood though, but it was just for the idea. As you can see, I also took off the ring around this hole because it was bigger than the other one, and I was trying to create a little bit more space between the door frame and the hole. So I will cut out another one of these and use that here as well. But I'm gonna have to remove this little step. Then I'm gonna make a little roof, and then we can put little logs up there and stack them up, make a couple of rows. I think that would be really nice. But first, let's put on the pieces that I already have. I am painting the frames that same white, which by the way is a creamy white. And then the greenhouse gets green windows, and the red house gets a dark red window. I'm also painting the door that same red as well. Now to create the illusion of glass windows, I put a layer of dark blue-greenish underneath the windows. It will kind of look like it's dark inside, I imagine. The door will get a bit of a door frame as well to tie it in with the windows, and then I could start building the firewood storage. I
had to remove that extra step using a screwdriver and a hammer, but it came off pretty cleanly, so you won't see any of it in the final result. I'm using garden clippers to cut off little pieces of a stick that I found outside, and I simply stack them up in a big glob of wood glue. Now you can see that one of the sticks is apparently green inside, which doesn't look as realistic as I would want, but I actually fixed that later by putting some brown stain on the ends. I cut the pieces for that little roof with the laser machine as well, creating lines on top of the roof part to create the illusion of it being wooden planks. And then I just attach everything with a lot of glue and hope that it will stay in place. Now for the smaller house, the roof of the firewood serves as a little platform for the birds to land before going in, but I didn't have that for the bigger house and I couldn't think of a good way to do it. So I simply added a piece of wood underneath the entrance and I'm just hoping that they will approve. Now finishing off the house with a sign that says Wingston Manor and my lucky number 27 as the house number, I am calling the house itself done. I just realized I made a very dumb mistake. Remember how I keep saying that I want to be able to take it all apart so that I can clean it out? Yeah, I just realized that I attached the firewood porch thingy to the house as well as to the platform. So if I'm going to take it apart, something's going to break. And I don't really have a way to fix it now. So I've decided that I'm going to make this future me's problem. I am definitely going to run into it when I'm going to take it apart to clean it out at the end of the season, but that is so sad. I'm very curious to know if any of you caught this while I was doing it. Let me know in the comments if you did, because apparently I didn't.
Let me weep before I go. Price I will pay, blaming myself all night. Leave no part of me unscathed when you rip me.
Okay, so try to ignore all of the plants that have grown absolutely out of control on the front of our house. This is the spot that I decided the birdhouse was gonna go. So I grabbed one of those garden tools that I can use to drill a hole into the ground and attached the birdhouse. The little piece of wood that I made to attach it to, it actually broke while I was screwing into it. So I had to replace that very quickly, but it's fine. You can't actually see it. I love how it looks. You're gonna be able to see this house from the street, so people are gonna see it when they go by our house, which I really like that idea. I can only see the top of it from our window in our living room, so I could spy on it from the inside, but that's okay. It actually did turn out a little bit lower than I had hoped, but I could always replace the post if I wanted to, so. This was a really fun project to work on though. It was a little bit smaller than the projects that I usually do, but it was a lot of fun to do. There are bigger projects coming up. We are actually working on several things at the same time. The floors are still being worked on. There is someone coming this weekend to work on the garden. Do like a whole preparation thing for our vegetable garden. I am also working on our kids' bedroom, so I might have to chop it up into smaller parts, but definitely a lot coming up. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.